Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always up for a good exploration.
Well, today we're diving into some excerpts about the life of Muhammad.
Okay.
And, our listeners really hoping to, glean some insights into his early years, his rise as a prophet, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a fascinating period. So much happening, so much change.
Definitely. And, it seems they're especially curious about how the stage was set, for such a pivotal figure.
Right. Right. Like, what were the conditions that led to the rise of Islam? What was going on in the world?
Exactly. So let's get to it. What really jumps out at you from these excerpts? What's the first thing that grabs your attention?
Well, I think what's really striking is just how chaotic the world of pre-Islamic Arabia was. Like, the source just throws you right into it.
Yeah, you're not kidding. It's like, bam, tribal conflicts, power struggles, everyone vying for control.
And it wasn't just the political landscape. There was this deep spiritual unrest. People were searching for something more, something that the old ways just couldn't offer.
You can really feel that longing, can't you? It's like this underlying current running through everything, almost like everyone was on edge, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, it's palpable.
And then there's that story about, what was his name? Zunavas, the tyrannical Jewish king in Yemen.
Right. The one who forced conversions to Judaism.
Yeah. And executed those who refused, even Christians. I mean, talk about intolerance. It's not exactly painting a pretty picture of religious harmony, is it?
No, not at all. It definitely sets the scene in a very stark way.
Mm.
And though this happened before the rise of Islam, it really underscores the contrast with how Muhammad later interacted with other faiths,
Hmm.
which we'll see, as we move into the Medinan period. But
Uh.
yeah, for now, you can really see how this backdrop of religious intolerance sets the scene.
It's like, okay, things are not looking good here. And then, boom, just 50 days before Muhammad's birth, we have the year of the elephant.
Right. That's a story that never gets old. I mean, Abraha, this powerful ruler from Ethiopia, marches on Mecca with war elephants, with the intention of destroying the Kaaba, the holiest site in Arabia. Talk about a dramatic entrance.
It's like something out of a movie. And then what's even more remarkable is that his seemingly invincible army suffers a sudden and utter defeat. It reads almost like, some kind of divine intervention. You're left thinking, okay, something bigger is at play here.
It's a powerful narrative, no doubt, and it really solidifies the Kaaba's significance, even before Muhammad's arrival. It almost makes you wonder if, maybe the stage was being set for something or someone extraordinary. And speaking of foreshadowing, there's this other intriguing detail in the source, a rumor circulating among the Jewish community in Mecca at the time.
You mean the one where they suspected that the long-awaited prophet Ahmad had been born, based on celestial signs and prophecies?
Exactly. They even believed he would have this distinct birthmark between his shoulder blades, almost like a divine stamp of approval. It's like they were piecing together this puzzle even before Muhammad himself was aware of his destiny.
That's wild. Talk about foreshadowing. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about Muhammad's early life. I have to say, I found the story of Halima, his Bedouin wet nurse, particularly fascinating.
Yeah, she plays a pivotal role in his upbringing.
She does. The source describes, her initial reluctance to take on an orphan, the miraculous abundance of milk she experienced when she first held him. And then there's that strange incident where Muhammad was supposedly kidnapped and his chest was smashed open by a figure in white. Can we unpack that a little?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a pivotal story, and there's so many layers to it. Scholars often interpret that miraculous flow of milk as a symbol of the spiritual and intellectual nourishment that Muhammad would eventually bring to Arabia,
Mm.
a parched and chaotic Arabia.
Right, like he was destined to provide sustenance, guidance.
Exactly. And then, as for that kidnapping incident, well, it remains somewhat shrouded in mystery.
You can say that again. What are we
Right.
supposed to make of that?
Well, it's often seen as foreshadowing his chosen destiny, hinting at some kind of purification or preparation for his prophetic role.
All right, like a symbolic cleansing or something.
Right. Something to ponder.
It definitely leaves you with more questions than answers. And can you imagine how terrifying that must have been for Halima?
Oh, absolutely. The source makes it pretty clear that she was terrified.
I bet. But amidst all this, this strange incident and everything, the source really emphasizes the unwavering love and protection that Muhammad received from his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib. You can almost feel the weight of responsibility and love he carried for his orphaned grandson. It's pretty touching.
Absolutely. He really stepped up and became a father figure to Muhammad. And, speaking of destined connections, the source also mentions this prophetic dream that Khadijah had, years before even meeting Muhammad.
Oh, right. The dream where she learned she would marry the prophet.
Exactly. Destiny working its magic, even before they met.
Wow. It feels like we're about to reach a turning point in the story. Like all these little events, these strange occurrences, they're all building up to something big. Wouldn't you say?
You can definitely feel the momentum building. Something's about to happen.
For sure.
You're absolutely right. It's like all these threads are converging.
Yeah.
And this is where things take a dramatic turn. The source really doesn't hold back when it comes to describing Muhammad's first encounter with the angel Gabriel in the cave of Hira.
No, it doesn't. It's definitely not the peaceful, serene vision that you often see depicted. It's much more intense.
It is. It's visceral. Imagine, Muhammad seeking solace and spiritual clarity, right? He goes to this cave, and suddenly, bam, he's confronted by this powerful being commanding him to recite.
You get the sense that this was not a gentle tap on the shoulder. It was more like a full-blown spiritual earthquake.
Exactly. It was a profound, overwhelming experience. This source describes him shivering, overwhelmed, his face pale, his breathing heavy. It's clear this was not an everyday occurrence.
Not at all. And it's in those moments, in the midst of all this turmoil, that his wife, Khadijah, really shines. She emerges as this incredible source of strength and support.
She does. She's remarkable. It's Khadijah who comforts him, who seeks confirmation of the angelic encounter, and who ultimately becomes the first believer in his message. Her role in those early days, those uncertain times, really can't be overstated.
I'm struck by how many women played such pivotal roles in the early days of Islam. You have Khadijah, of course, but also his daughter, Fatima, and later his wives like Aisha, who were instrumental in transmitting and preserving his teachings.
That's a great point. Their contributions are often overlooked. But you're right, the source makes it clear just how integral women were to the movement's development and growth. It's a crucial part of the story.
Okay, so let's talk about the spread of Islam. It seems like initially it was very much an underground movement, starting with, the conversions of Khadijah and Ali. And then the source tells this really interesting story about Abu Bakr, Muhammad's close friend who accepts Islam without hesitation.
Ah, yes, Abu Bakr. He's a fascinating character.
He is. It's like he has this blind faith in Muhammad, even before knowing the specifics of the message. Just complete trust.
What I find fascinating about his conversion is that it really reveals something about his character. It suggests this deep understanding of and trust in Muhammad, so profound that he didn't need detailed explanations or convincing arguments. He just knew. And his immediate embrace of Islam really speaks volumes about the bond they shared. And, Abu Bakr was known for his wisdom and discernment. So his conversion carried a lot of weight. It encouraged others to consider Muhammad's message seriously.
Right, like if Abu Bakr believes it, then maybe there's something to it.
Exactly. It's a testament to the power of personal connection and trust, especially in the face of something new and unknown.
And we see other important figures convert as well, right? Omar, Hamza, people from all walks of life who face their own struggles, both internal and external, before embracing Islam.
And let's not forget Abu Dhar al-Ghifar, the one who, upon hearing rumors of a new prophet in Mecca, actively seeks Muhammad out. His story showcases the growing awareness of Muhammad's message. But it also highlights the courage it took to align oneself with this new, fledgling, and often persecuted faith. It wasn't an easy choice.
Definitely not. You can really see the risks involved. This was not a time for the faint of heart. Okay, so as Islam gains a foothold, the opposition intensifies, right? It goes from ridicule and mockery to something much more serious, social boycotts, even physical abuse. The source really paints a vivid picture of the escalating tension.
It does. It was a very challenging period, both for Muhammad and his followers. The pressure to abandon his mission was immense.
It must have felt like the whole world was against him.
In many ways, it was. The source even quotes him saying, "Even if they place the sun in my right hand and the moon in my left, I will not abandon this cause." Talk about unwavering conviction.
Wow. He was not backing down.
Absolutely not. And it wasn't just verbal pressure either. The source recounts some harrowing experiences, of early Muslims who endure brutal torture for their beliefs. It's a stark reminder of the price many paid for their faith.
It's heartbreaking to read about the suffering they went through. You can't help but feel for them.
It's a testament to their faith, to their unwavering commitment to what they believed in.
It's also interesting how the source sheds light on the complex family dynamics at play during this time. Muhammad's uncle, Abu Talib, provides him protection, even though he never converts to Islam. It really shows how intertwined these religious tensions were with familial ties.
Absolutely. Abu Talib's protection speaks volumes about the power of family loyalty, even in the face of these deep religious divisions. And the source also reveals how the Meccans tried to discredit Muhammad.
Right. They tried to label him a magician, a poet, a soothsayer, anything to undermine his claims.
Exactly, they were desperate to stop his growing influence.
But it doesn't work. He
Mhm.
doesn't back down. He continues preaching. And the Quranic revelations keep coming. And it's like this intellectual battle happening alongside the physical persecution.
It is. It's an important dimension of the story.
Yeah.
And, this is where we see a shift in the source material. It starts to delve into accounts of divine signs and miracles.
You mean like the splitting of the moon?
That's the one. A story that continues to fascinate and intrigue people today.
I can see why. It's a pretty bold claim.
It is. And it had a profound impact on both believers and disbelievers alike.
So we've gone from this chaotic world of pre-Islamic Arabia through Muhammad's revelation, the persecution, the escape to Medina. It's been quite a journey.
It has.
Now we get to see how this fledgling Muslim community actually starts to take root, how they build a new life for themselves. What does the source tell us about that? What were those early days in Medina like?
Well, it's a completely different atmosphere, isn't it? It's not just about survival anymore. It's about building something new, something lasting.
Right, like they finally found a place where they can breathe, where they can flourish.
Exactly. And one of the first things that happens in Medina is the construction of a mosque.
Oh, of course, a place to gather, to pray.
Right. But not just any mosque. This was the Kaaba Mosque, the very first mosque ever built. It marked a new era.
It must have felt like such a powerful symbol, a physical manifestation of their faith.
Absolutely. A declaration of their presence, a beacon of hope. But it was more than just a place of worship.
Right, like a community center almost.
Exactly. It was a place for gathering, for learning, for
Wow.
making decisions. It was the heart of this new community.
I love that image. And the source mentions this beautiful story about the first call to prayer, the Adhan.
Oh, yes. The dream that Abdullah bin Zaid had. He was shown the words and the melody in a dream, and that became the call to prayer.
I love those kinds of stories. Dreams inspiring action.
It's pretty amazing.
Mhm.
And it was Bilal, the Abyssinian, who was chosen to be the first muadhin, the one who calls the faithful to prayer.
Wait, Bilal? Wasn't he?
A former slave.
Yes.
He was. And his appointment as the first muadhin speaks volumes about the kind of society they were building.
Right, where social status didn't matter.
Exactly. His voice, described as powerful and moving, became a symbol of the inclusiveness of this new faith. It didn't matter who you were, where you came from. In the eyes of God, everyone was equal.
That's a pretty radical idea for the time, a real departure from the rigid social hierarchies that existed before.
It was a new way of thinking, a new way of being. And the source emphasizes this idea of brotherhood, or ummah, as it's called in Arabic. Muhammad strategically pairs up the Muhajirin, the migrants from Mecca, with the Ansar, the people of Medina who welcomed them.
I remember reading about that, creating these bonds of kinship.
Right. They shared resources, homes, everything. They were forging these deep connections that transcended tribal or familial ties. It reminds me of that story about Saad bin Rabi. He offers to split his wealth with his assigned brother Abdurrahman bin Auf.
Oh, right. And Abdurrahman, being a skilled merchant, declines the offer, saying he'd rather earn his own living.
He does. And he ends up becoming one of the wealthiest companions of the Prophet.
Yeah.
It just goes to show the kind of entrepreneurial spirit that was flourishing in Medina.
Amazing. And then, of course, you have the Constitution of Medina.
Ah, yes.
A landmark document.
It lays out the rights and responsibilities of everyone living in Medina, Muslims, Jews, other groups.
It's like a blueprint for a just and equitable society.
Mm.
And for its time, incredibly progressive.
It addressed justice, defense, economic cooperation, all within this framework of religious pluralism.
It was a groundbreaking document. It set a precedent for interfaith relations, for peaceful coexistence, for a society where everyone had a place. It's pretty inspiring when you think about it. And, I also appreciate how the source emphasizes the importance of knowledge and learning within this new society.
Oh, absolutely. Like that story about Zayd bin Thabit. He had memorized the entire Quran by the age of 11. Can you imagine?
Wow, that's
Oh.
surreal. That's incredible.
And, Muhammad encourages him to learn other languages, recognizing the importance of communication and intellectual growth.
So even from those early days, there was this focus on education, on expanding your horizons.
Absolutely. And Zayd later becomes one of the Prophet's scribes, translating letters and documents. It shows the value they placed on literacy and knowledge.
It's easy to get caught up in the dramatic moments, the battles, the conquests, but I really appreciate that this deep dive has highlighted these other aspects of early Islam, the compassion, the community building, the pursuit of knowledge. It's a good reminder that these were the foundations upon which this faith was built.
I agree. These principles continue to resonate with millions around the world today.
Well said. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the life of Muhammad. It's been an enlightening journey. And for those of you listening, we hope this has given you a deeper understanding of the man, the message, and the movement that shaped the course of human history. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
It was a pleasure.